I am joined by Taylor women's soccer head coach Scott Stan to look back at the first half of the 2020 season for he and the Trojans. Scott, obviously not as many wins as you and the ladies would have hoped, but what do you think about the 2020 season so far?
I think it's been really exciting. It's been a hard growing season, but I think the ladies are responding well. We're getting better. We're playing top competition. And like you said, not as many wins as we'd like because we'd always like to win all of them. But I think it really does have us ready to go into the second half of the season and even into the playoffs as well with a solid team that's probably seen some of the best the NAI has to offer. And I think realizes they can play with them as well.
It's we talked about this weird season with protocols and schedules and changing things around and all of that, but the other weird thing I think for you is that you've only played two home matches through the first month and a half of the year. And obviously with no non-conference season, that obviously affects your home match number. Is that weird to only have played at home twice so far here in the season?
Yeah, it's really weird because we played 8 games and we've been home twice and we haven't been home on a weekend. So it just feels like we don't really have a home field. But I think, what is it, 4 of our next 6 are at home. So that should be more normal. But I think things might be changing a little bit with that as well. But hopefully 4 or 5 of our final 6 will be at home.
The same three names that you and I talked about to begin the year to lead you offensively or leading your offensively once the season has started. Aaron Tevens, Lindley Tube, Morgan Orm, all with 4 goals apiece. What do you do in the second half of the season to keep putting them in the best opportunities for them to succeed?
We're actually going to make a system change to get all 3 of them up front at the same time, so that we're just trying to optimize the strengths that we have with their goal scoring ability and putting them in front of the goal as much as possible. So instead of having, say, Lindley bring the ball up and set the other 2 up, everybody's trying to set each other up as forwards now. So that'll be a fun and exciting change that we'll be debuting in our next home game so everybody can see it.
Which hopefully comes up on Saturday, obviously, is what we're all hoping here. We talked about the experience with Aaron and Lindley and Morgan. Someone who is gaining experience with every match is your freshman goalkeeper, Hannah Brackenbury. How do you think Hannah's done so far?
I think Hannah's done really well for being put into a position where she kind of has to be the boss in the defense and tell them what to do and move them around. And I just think it doesn't matter how good you are. That's hard to do when you're 17 or 18 and the other girls are 21 and 22. So I think it just feels awkward for her yelling at senior captain Raina Williams, who's been there for 4 years, when she needs to do that. But as far as like her skill and ability, everybody's behind her. They think she's amazing, and she's doing a really, really good job, even though I think it's the only time that we've consistently started a freshman in my 13 years in the goal.
As you get ready for the long stretch here to end the regular season, what are some of the things you want your team to focus in on?
Well, one of the things is using practices every day to get better so that when it comes time to performing games, they feel they've seen it before and they've done it before and they feel comfortable going into matches. Increasing the depth of the people that we can play a little bit would also be really beneficial going forward. And hopefully we're going to play some teams that we can get a little bit of more of a rotation in and get them some experience so that if we do have an injury or a setback or even just need to make some changes, that they feel as confident in their abilities as we feel in them as the coaches.
Scott, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck to you and the Trojans here in the rest of 2020.
Thank you, Rick.
That is Scott Stan, the Taylor women's soccer head coach, joining me today to stay up to date with everything Taylor women's soccer. Just log on to TaylorTrojans.com.